All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with another fight review. So we're going to Tampa, Florida for CFFC 141. That's Cage Fury Fighting Championship 141. We're going to the bantamweight division. Emily Martins coming in at 2-1, taking on Nikola Kacperska coming in at 1-1. So both ladies still getting started in their careers here. Was interesting to see what was going to happen with Martins in this one, as she was coming off her first loss back in, I want to say, September. She got knocked out in like 10 seconds. So I was really interested to see how Martins would recover from that bout. All right, so let's get into it. So, opening seconds of the fight, both fighters were testing out their range with some punches and some kicks, but neither were really landing anything. Neither had really started to find their range. And then Kacperska threw a straight push kick, like just push kick straight in the stomach. A little bit too close, I would say. I would say she was a little too close for it, but maybe she was trying to create distance. But Martins caught it very easily, just grabbed the leg, and used it to take Kacperska down. Now, Kacperska immediately tried to scramble, and excuse me, but Martins immediately just took her back and worked. As soon as she was firmly on the back, she got both hooks in. Now, Kacperska started trying to grab do wrist control and tucked her chin. She was trying to defend, but Martins got her hands free, used some punches to sneak the rear naked choke right in, and Kacperska tapped. So the official result, minute 31 seconds of the first round, submission due to rear naked choke. Emily Martins is your winner. So very, very quick fight. Not a whole lot to learn from this one. Martins is interesting. She's obviously very good on the ground. 3 wins, all 3 by rear naked choke. 2 in the first round, 1 in the second round, very early in the second round. And then she has that 10-second knockout. But that was against Autumn Norton, who you could say was a more experienced fighter because Norton was 3-2 at the time. I think both ladies were coming in off of a loss here, yes. So Kacperska was also coming in off of a loss, but by decision. That was back in November. And yeah, Martins fought. Oh, she hadn't fought since last June. Okay, so Martins took all that time off. So 10 months? Pretty smart, because that was a pretty big knockout. Smart to take that time off. But the big question is going to be, how does she get matched up from here? She's fought all of her pro fights so far, all 4 pro fights with CFFC, which is an East Coast promotion, which is smart because she lives in Florida, so she doesn't have to travel too far. But how does CFFC match her up? Because the lower end, like the beginning fighters in the division, they're going to be no match for her on the ground. But you can't put her in against fighters who have too much experience now, because she doesn't have some fight experience to match. The Norton fight is kind of a standout, but you could say, well, I'm not going to say it was a fluke fight, but got to be careful putting her in against experienced fighters who can strike too. That's the big takeaway. The biggest takeaway from this is questioning rather, how CFFC, if she stays with them, is going to match her up. It'll be interesting. I think she'd be better off maybe going elsewhere, like trying to get some fights with Invicta, who actually has a more established bantamweight division and can pick out some opponents for her better, rather than just looking and saying, well, let's see who's willing to sign with us. That's going to be the big thing. I don't have a whole lot to go off of to say about the fight itself because it was only a minute and a half long. Big mistake with the push kick by Kacperska, but that's about it. The fight was on UFC Fight Pass. Go ahead and check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, and thanks for watching Wmma Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.